Little league, middle school, high school. At any point, did you say, I think I want to be a coach someday?
Oh no, never
Never?
did. And if it hadn't been for my roommate in college, I would have never been a coach.
You have got to be kidding me. Well, welcome once again to First Down in Life. We want to thank Brian Pickrell for being here and filming with us again this afternoon. And make sure you look up Pick Designs. You can find him all over social media and also on the internet. He does a great job at doing highlight films, doing videos such as the one that you're watching. He's excellent with graphic design and all that. And we just can't thank Brian enough. He does a splendid job of filming for us. We got a very special guest tonight. It's my pleasure and it's our pleasure, and very thankful to be able to have LJ Harbison with us, head coach of the Metcalfe County Hornets, and a heck of a season last year that I'm sure we'll get into here in just a moment. But we're really excited to have LJ. I know several of the folks that have been watching our previous podcast. They're actually coming to me saying, please get LJ. Please get LJ. Well, we've got you, LJ. So here we go. I offered him some pizza and he wouldn't eat it. So I don't know what he eats. He don't eat pizza. What's your favorite food?
Anything meat. I'm more of a carnivore. Any of that.
So if I had to put a T-bone out,
that chicken, something. I told my wife to make me some chicken when I got home. So she got that down.
All right, I got it now. So I figured out why. Yeah, I've got to be in the mood for pizza, but then my wife is a pizza connoisseur, so we have pizza when she's in the mood for it. So, LJ, good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Really do look forward to this conversation. Last year, LJ's Metcalfe team went 10-0. I got to see a couple of games, and it was absolutely impressive. I personally was so impressed, not only with the play, but the tenacity, the energy and the crowd size and the enthusiasm and the flags I'm seeing in people's yards and all the kids got their face painted. And we'll get into that as we move along. But you also made it to the Elite Eight. Am I right? Made
Yep.
it to the Final Eight.
Yep.
Now, is that how far that your father?
Yeah. My junior year, we made it to the same spot and got beat by the same team, Mayfield, on the same field, 12-0, 12-0, and.
Now, was that not a fumble that lost you that game?
Yeah,
personally.
We won't talk about that, but yeah, it was a fumble. I got the pleasure of hitting that guy.
Explain that, because that team went on to win the state championship that year. That Mayfield team.
I think they did. I couldn't be for sure, but yeah, we had a great Metcalfe team. It was the best ever until then. We were 10-0 rolling through the regular season.
What position did you play?
Well, the thing is, I didn't play. I broke my leg in our inter-squad scrimmage.
I have no idea.
They did that without me, and I come back the week before against Murray, playing with the leg cast, and my boys still to this day won't let it down because I got beat by Tim Matsay, the kicker that played at UK and at the Packers. He was their kicker and wide receiver, and he actually burnt me playing corner. And while my dad had me out there at corner, I have no idea with the leg cast and shouldn't have been playing, but he did burn me.
Wait a minute. You're playing cornerback with a cast on.
Yeah, like a soft air cast. I probably hadn't been released more than 2 days or something like that, but I wanted to play.
Kid, get out there and play cornerback.
Yeah, because he didn't want me to take on contact, which was just not the very smart thing. But I could still run, and I lifted and trained the whole time. I was out there with a walking boot trying to run and get in shape, and that was probably not very helpful either. But I was just
that was against Murray.
And we ended up winning. They missed a field goal to tie it or win it, whatever it was there at the end of the thing. So then we made it to Mayfield, and we got beat 14-7. A couple controversial calls that still eat up a lot of guys in Edmonton. I know Mo Hensley, if anybody knows him, I know he jumped over the fence, and they said he cleared it like a box jump, just like a 6 foot.
I heard. I was listening to it on the radio.
Yeah, but it is what it is, and that this year we thought they got a couple calls too that kind of put us on the back burners. But
the game was still somewhat tight this year.
Yeah, it was as close as the game they had all year.
Don't dictate.
Right. they got one before the half that we thought if we could go in 7-0, we were going to get the ball coming back out the halftime. But they scored with under 40 seconds left, and on their TV, they put it on their Paducah channel, and you can see plain as day the kid don't get in.
Really?
They showed it as their highlight, but I mean it is what it is. And we knew we wasn't gonna get a call. The first play of the game, I got a flag for being inside the coach's box. So
Really?
I knew we were in for a long night.
So you know it's going to be a long night. Yeah.
But
and then you get the fans. It mentally, it changes everything, doesn't it? When you get that first call like that, it just is so deflating.
They were so high energy, and we get that flag, and both teams just raring to go. And you hate when a big game a referee steps in, but I don't want to put all the blame on them. Mayfield did some great things. They were a good team. Should have won the state finals. If missed a few kicks to cost them the state championship this year, but. They were a good team. They're going to be really good this year as well. But hats off to Mayfield. They were a heck of a football team.
And you got to beat Danville to meet them, right?
Yeah, it's always
two of the perennial.
Yeah, it's always good to beat Danville. They had
a heck of a powers for years.
Yeah, so it was a pleasure beating them at home. They had a heck of a player, a sophomore kid that rushed for 2,000 yards. He was one of the best athletes I'd seen in person. So he's going to be really good as a junior. Brown, I think's his name, but it was a great season, exciting. Our game 10 against KCD, top 3 team in 1A, that game went to overtime, and we went for 2, and then so they had to go for 2 because I already told my coaching staff I wanted to run a trick play, but they wouldn't let me. So I called in.
You got overruled?
Yeah, I called. They were like, "Coach,
no, wait a minute,
Coach, don't do that."
So you allowed a coach to overrule you?
Yeah,
So you're that type of coach that, hey, I'm willing to listen, right?
Yeah, I'll listen to my players. I called a timeout, and I was like, y'all want to go for the win or the kick? And they said for 2, coach. And I just smiled. And they go, you were going for 2 anyway, wasn't you? I was like, oh yeah,
I love it. I love it.
But at 2 plays before that, I knew we was going to score. I mean, we just had all the momentum in the world, and I already told them. I was like, y'all know what I'm calling. I drew it up on Monday, showed it to y'all Sunday. I said, y'all know what I want to run? They're like, don't do it. Don't do it. Just run our offense. They can't stop it, So I'm glad I did it, but it would have been exciting to end on a trick play.
Did you get to do it later at all?
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to tell us what it is.
we run a trick play every game that's usually pretty successful. I mean, the first game of the season against Barron County this year, we run a reverse pass and went for 40, 50 yards, and it stole Barron County's momentum because they marched down, had a good opening drive, and hit the field goal. And then we just sucked the life out of them after we scored that.
Yeah.
Or we thought anyway.
I saw that. That reverse come out, and I thought, my goodness, it's a reverse. Didn't even cover the reverse that well. And then when he stopped his feet, I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah. So if the ball hadn't been on our throw, it would have been really good. But, we love making it exciting. I let the kids name the trick plays, so they always have it good. They always chomping at the bits to find.
But you know what? Now, you tell me how many, because as coaches – we all got egos.
Yeah.
And we want our coach to have a certain level of intensity and authority and the right way, power, authority, however you want to look at that. But it takes a very special coach to stop and not only listen to his assistant coaches, but also to his kids.
Right.
So my hat's off to you for.
Well, it ain't like that.
That don't mean you do it very often.
Yeah. Because my assistant coaches, they'll be the first to say that they never listen. I never listen to them, but I try to listen to everybody.
Of course they would.
I'm one of those people that you should always be learning. Yeah, there's not anybody that's perfect. So I'm learning from you two tonight, and hopefully I take something away from this that I can share to other people.
Now, do you allow your coaches, like in their prospective positions, let's say you got your D-line coach or your 5 techniques, whatever.
Well, we only have.
Do you allow?
I'm counting myself. We have 4 total coaches. So
4.
Yes, we did the whole thing 4.
And go to the final 8 against Mayfield.
Yeah, and they had about 16.
16 coaches.
They had about 80 players. We had about 31.
31.
Yeah. So
what a heck of a job you all are doing over there.
I don't know about that. We had
what a great job.
Had some good players.
Even because county schools go like this, for the most part. Not every county, but for the most part, county schools, you're going to have your ebbs and flows and ups and downs.
For the rural area.
And the fans understand that. I think they
hopefully they.
I think for the most part they give us that credit because they realize that when they graduate a lot of kids, it might be a down year, here comes an up year. But what I love about watching Metcalfe, this is something that's always stuck with me. I told you I'd worked with Freddie
Right.
for quite some when we coached against each other years ago in middle school. Love your Uncle Freddie. Great dude. Great dude. But when I watch you guys on an up year, it looks no different than on a year that you might be struggling. Say you got a 4-win season. Most county schools are going to have that, and then they're going to have a 500 year, and then they might move up. But when you guys are having a down year, those kids will get after you until they blow the last whistle. Am I right?
Well, that's what we
Is
try
that
to
you
preach.
instill?
It's what we try to preach, and I think it's what makes us good. We coach our best player. We got 2 kids signing. Well, we got 1 kid signing, maybe another kid's going to go play college football. I coach him same way I coach the kid that never played it down.
Absolutely.
There ain't no difference between I'm yelling at that star player just like I'm yelling at that scrub. If he don't give a look in practice, if that guy don't go hard, coach, I pancaked him 4 times in a row. I really don't care. Do it again. And the kid that got pancaked 4 times in a row, I'm going to lift him up. I'm going to get in his butt. Hey, you better go a little harder this time. Go slow.
Yeah.
And that's just part of it. And the kid, I think the kids respond to it well because they see we don't show favoritism. They see we care about everybody. And the thing we always try to preach, and what I've been trying to get to my younger kids, is that if I'm yelling at you, it means I care. If I don't yell at you, it means I'm done with you.
There's a big difference too, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know, I was coaching the other day, and I'd really got into a kid because kids today aren't that used to that.
No,
you know, when we were growing up, or let me say when I was growing up, we're probably in a little different generation, but when I was growing up, I was used to teachers, parents, coaches, especially coaches. Right. Everybody yelled. Yep. Everybody yelled about everything. And then there was a place to be calm and stuff too. But it was just something we were all used to. If we needed to be tightened up in class, it wasn't nothing for a teacher to slam a ruler up against the desk and throw a book across the room and say, you all sit down, behave your hand, and yell at us. Yeah. But nowadays, kids aren't really used to that. They don't get that as much at home, or
some of them,
most
some
of
them
us
respond very well if you yell at them. But
so I got on a kid really good, right? And he gives me the look. You know, that look the kid gives you like they're deer in the headlights. They're like, uh-oh, I'm not used. And I'm saying, look, if I do that to you, it's because I want you to give your level best. I'm not doing it to fuss at you or to demean you. I'm doing that because I want the best you have. Because the best you have is going to make you proud of yourself. Exactly. Right? It's going to help the whole team. Yep. So I love it, LJ. Love it. Yep. I do have some questions that we have to sort out before we move on. All right?
Fire away.
So, on offense, 3 minutes on the clock, 4th down and 1 at the 50-yard line. What do you do?
Are we up?
Oh, it's tied.
Tie ball game? Oh, yeah, we're going for it.
You're going to go for it?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to hear a punt.
Oh, no.
We've had every coach we've had so far, because I'm waiting, because I want to ask that dude, why do you punt?
No, if I had a good punter now, it might be a different ball game, and depending on if we're home or away. If he could punt at
49 yards.
Exactly. Yeah, but our punter's not bad. But yeah,
So if you're going to go for it, what are you going to do? 4th down and 1 on the 50, 3 minutes. Everybody in the crowds are going nuts.
We're going to run.
Cheerleaders can't cheer loud enough.
We're going to run ISO more than.
You're going to run ISO.
Yeah, we block the front side with 3 of our old linemen, take our fullback backside, and then it's a read play for our quarterback, so he can read the end to pull it, or so it's a multiple, option play.
Absolutely.
So we probably run it in 35-40% of our plays.
Congratulations for not saying punt. All right, next question. This is the rough one. All right. If Coach Ritchie was here, we're sorry Coach Ritchie couldn't be here tonight. He's got other things he's got to attend to. So 3rd down and 8. 3rd down and 8. What's that go-to play that you got to pull out of the tackle box?
Where we at on the field? What's the scope?
That's a good question. He's got me now. All right, let's say you're on your own 40-yard line.
I'm 40. Okay.
And you are way behind the sticks. 3rd down and 8. What is that go-to play?
What's the scope?
Let's say you don't have momentum.
Don't have momentum. So I need momentum.
And let's say you're down by 3.
Down by 3. What quarter?
Let's go late 3rd.
Late 3rd. Okay.
I mean, it's getting real.
So we gotta have it. Okay.
It's getting real now.
Depending on what we scouted throughout the week, more than likely I'm gonna roll out somebody or roll out a quarterback, and we got different variations of some kind of a flood concept.
Mm-hmm.
So more than likely, I'm gonna have a guy at 8-yard hitch or a curl. A guy that's running deep, and another guy that's gonna cross over the
Mm-hmm.
back at about 10, something like that.
Read your corner and try to pick on him.
And then I'm
now,
gonna
do you normally give your kid an option to run?
Oh
as
yeah,
well?
and that's what I'm gonna tell my quarterback. It's like you got the green light. If you come around that curve, because we're gonna double team at ends with our running back and our tackle. If you see the green light go, make a play. If it's short, now we're in that 4th and 1, 4th and 2. That's middle field. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now we got more options because we're a running football team anyway. So.
Absolutely.
So we can do different things. We can go hurry up, do a hard count because D linemen are dumb. They're gonna jump. So I mean, we could do that.
Imagine that D linemen are dumb. The meatheads.
Yeah. So, but we like to.
We love our meatheads. We can't win one game without them, right?
What I've tried to do lately is just get my most athletic guy the ball. I've taught him to throw. The quarterback we've got now is going to be a 3-year starter. I had to teach him how to say down set hit.
Really?
Yeah. So and he's just the best athlete. He can make some plays with his feet. Got a decent little arm. So
that's interesting thing. Okay, so your cadence, because the fans don't know this, they can't hear this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How do you arrive at down set hit? Is that something you grew up with?
No.
Is that something that LJ learned in college? I mean, where does a cadence come from? So are you saying right before the ball is snapped, for everybody at home and watching this, right before the ball snapped, what happens? What does he say?
Down, set, go.
Down, set, go.
Yep.
Right? Why does he not say something else? I mean, why is it?
It's just always what we've been doing the last 5-6 years, and we've always had success with it. And what I teach them is you go tempo. So sometimes you'll hold out the down, say go, down, say go. But my offensive line, wide receivers, everybody's ready to play on down. So as soon as down, it's like a down set for most offenses, and then you get your.
So there you go. The people at home now know what a cadence is.
Exactly.
So they might be assuming that. Of course, you see it on NFL. You can hear them making it. But in high school, we do the same stuff.
Yep. And then
we still got a cadence.
And then if I'm going to call an audible, when they're going to the line, Mason or our quarterback, he'll just look side to side, and before he starts in his cadence, I'm yelling check, 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 check. Everybody knows that, hey, just throw out a code word, and then down set goes.
So you're checking him, and then he knows to look for a sign or a call or something?
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
But we don't like to waste time.
When was the last time you got interviewed and asked about where does a cadence come from?
Been a long time for that. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. The person that put it on to me was my old roommate, Brandon Smith, and Andrew McLeod at South Warren. They said that they've tried the colors, tried the numbering system, tried the silent count. And, it was just wasted where people just couldn't get off on the so you just tempo.
I've always been a set go.
Tempo.
I like down set go, and I've seen some teams. I'm showing my age here, and probably teams still do this. But you'd see everybody basically fit form, somewhat in an athletic position, and then when the quarterback yelled down, they'd all put their hand on the ground and then set. We know here it comes, and then obviously it goes on goes. So I've always been a set go guy. Favorite breakfast cereal?
I don't eat cereal, but if I had to eat one, it'd probably be Cheerios.
Cheerios?
Yeah.
A Cheerios guy.
Yeah, I bet.
We've had Fruity Pebbles. We've had what was the one called? Count Chocula.
Count Chocula? That's a good cereal.
And we actually had Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah. I hadn't had a bowl of cereal in probably 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. I'm telling you.
I'm not a big cereal guy.
Meat and eggs for breakfast. That's what I got.
That's right.
I don't even want the biscuits.
If there's a pig involved, it's a good day.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm with you. But I do like my cereal every now and then. Most memorable Christmas present you ever got?
Oh, that's hands down. Parents got me a inflatable field goal post and an inflatable, had little pockets in it.
How old were you?
Probably 5 or 6. I mean, I wore that thing out. I wish I still had it today.
So you had to blow it up?
Oh, yeah, blow up. Had the little T. I was out there. I remember right now. I had the full setup of the Dolphins gear.
You a Dolphins guy?
Was back then that
Uh-huh.
49ers. I don't keep up much with the NFL anymore, but just wearing out, kicking field goals, and throwing that ball in that little hoop. I can remember it right now.
Uh-huh.
I wish I had one right now.
Absolutely. I guess there was 2 Christmases that I would argue was the thing that was most memorable to me. But one was I got a solid red football uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Had the old gray 2-bar face mask. And had the snaps on the side, and I could snap it up, buddy. I put that on, and I thought I was.
That's right.
I thought I was Troy Aikman.
Oh yeah,
running out there.
Yeah, me and my brother, we'd get at it in the living room floor.
Absolutely. Yes.
Good times.
The toy you could not do without as a kid.
If it wasn't a ball or truck, I wasn't playing with it.
I assumed that about you before you got here.
Yeah, if I was
a ball. So what kind of truck? You like Tonka or you a Hot Wheels guy?
I still got my original Tonkas.
You got to be kidding.
All of them, bulldozer, grader, dump trucks, all of
them. The old front end loader. Yep.
Yeah, still work. The old metal ones. So if I wasn't a dirt playing and I was yelling at Dad or my little brother to get in the yard and let's play baseball, football, basketball, whatever it may be. So
absolutely.
I hate video games. I hate Power Rangers. I hate Pokemon. Give me a ball or a truck.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't even think I had video games when I was growing up. It wasn't even a thing yet. I don't even know if I had computers yet. I can't even remember. But we didn't have video games. We had to be told to come inside. That's another problem I think a lot of kids have now.
Yep.
Is they got their face in a screen too much. I tell you what happened here just about a month ago. Right down here, right under us. 14-year-old boys, 3 of them. 2 of them, very good friends of mine, their sons, and my son. They're all going to come to my son's house to hang out and do whatever a 14-year-old's going to do. We know what that is. We assumed we knew what that was. Right. So I walked down there just to check on the boys, and I looked down there and walked down there, and all 3 of them are sitting butt to butt on the couch right here.
On the phone. Probably snapping
Wasn't looking at each other.
Probably snapping each other.
Wasn't talking to each other. They're just sitting there doing this.
Oh, yeah.
So I come down there and said, what in the world are you doing? And, of course, they looked at me like I was from Mars. Right. And I'm like, are y'all out of your minds?
You times, Dad.
Yeah. I said, look, you all get up at them steps. You put them phones up. If I see them back out, I'm going to call you dads. I know every one of them.
Good for you.
And we wound up getting out the rook cards, and them boys begged me to keep going.
Oh, I bet.
And if it had been fishing day or, right. That's what I wish that, and, part of that's on us.
Oh, it is.
We should be encouraging them kids, participating with them kids and letting them see how fun.
Oh, I'll get at my wife all the time. If kids are fussy, she just won't give them an iPad. No, let's make them go outside and do something. I mean, it's too young to be on their iPad.
I put my kids out before and shut the door so they couldn't get back in. I don't mean that in a bad way. It was a good thing. They were safe. They were around the lawnmower. All right. So, and I don't know how you're going to answer this, but every other coach has had to deal with this one. Your favorite junk food?
Oh, I'm a junk food junkie.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was snacking on jelly beans on the way over here.
Jelly beans?
If it's sweet, I'm eating it, and my teeth are awful. I try to brush 3 times a day, but Skittles, jelly beans,
Skittles.
Anything sweet like that, I've got it on me all the time.
You're more of a candy than a chocolate candy bar type?
Yep. Today I ate those. They got those new nerd things. It's got like the nerds around them, and it's soft. I don't know you know what they call them, but I ate a whole bag today after lunch.
That's what I'm talking about. Candy guy. That's the way I am.
Candy.
My favorite candy are those chewy sweet tarts.
Those are good.
I love those.
Those are good. Sprees
those are old school.
Chewy spree.
Yes, chewy spree, yummy. Yeah. But I do love me a handful of Skittles, or let me say a bucket full.
That's my
of
favorite.
Skittles.
And my players every once in a while see this random thing of Skittles on and they'll players will throw them in there to me if they know about that. I go through their lockers every once in a while. And
You're probably going to get more now.
I find candy all the time in their locker, and I'll steal it and eat that bag of Skittles.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like,
man, got to have the Skittles, yeah. Bacon and eggs and a breakfast. And we got to have Skittles throughout the day.
That's right.
Best movie you ever saw?
Football movie. I love The Little Giants.
Oh, that's a great one.
I loved Remember the Titans.
What was it? What was the play called?
Annexation of Puerto Rico.
Annexation of Puerto Rico. Yes.
Yeah. And the one that a lot of people don't like that I love is Cool Runnings.
Yes, my kids love that movie. I like it.
I still talk about it. I'm pushing my kids down the driveway. I'll start them off. Feel the rhythm. Feel the ride. Watch out now.
It's bobsled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, absolutely. You know that movie, Brian? John Candy. What a great show that was.
Yeah.
And that was legit.
Oh, yeah.
Go down to Jamaica. I mean, what a great concept. Let me go find the best sprinters in the world and make them into sled driving.
Yeah. And I don't know why I liked it at a young age. I don't know why I liked it, but I watch it every time it's on. I watch it.
Yeah, I love it. You can ask me. Probably most people are watching this. They've never seen it before,
right.
But they're going to check it out. It's a
they
great.
Need to.
Yeah.
Rest in peace,
Yeah.
John Candy.
They had the mishap in there where they got to watching the Germans or Austrians too much, and they got to trying to do the cadence wrong, and then they got back to him putting the egg down in this thing.
Yeah.
Great idea. Great movie. Great movie.
Sanka is the man.
He is the man. All right, hobbies. Tell me what kind of hobbies LJ Harbison's into.
Well, I wish I golfed a lot more, but kids can't do that a lot. But that would be my number one thing. I got a little simulator set up in the garage. I wear it out a lot. I love outdoors. Don't really get a lot of time to fish, but we own a pontoon boat, so we can keep the Barren River. So we're out there anytime it's sunny, and then love the beach. But other than that, spending time watching sports, playing golf, being outside. I got an outdoor TV set up that just enjoy being outside and piddling around and doing stuff like that. So I wish I fished or hunt, but I couldn't really ever get into it. Yeah. So I know it's kind of weird to be a
now. Does Larry? I know Larry was a head coach, 2 coaches before. Your uncle was. Freddie was a head coach prior to you.
Yep, and then my dad.
And then your dad. And your dad had a great, series of seasons.
Oh yeah.
Very admirable. Well, one of the best coaches, I guess, if not the best coach Metcalfe's ever had.
He's got the win leader.
And you've tied him at this point as far as distance.
Right. Yeah.
Elite 8 is an Elite 8.
Yeah.
So growing up as a coach's son, what's that like?
It had its perks, but it also had its bad stuff. I was from as long as I can remember, I was right there in the locker room delivering water. Played my first varsity scrimmage as a 5th grader. I know I got yelled at a lot of times because they'd have that 2-in-touch game going on behind the bleachers, and after I'd deliver water, I'd run down there and try to score a couple touchdowns, run back up there, and everybody'd yell water and where I was at, but.
What did they use for a ball? Did they have one of the little?
Oh yeah, most of the times I brought my own. I had them, down there playing. Y'all set it up. I'll be down there once the game starts.
That's what I'm
stuff like
about.
that. But watching film and doing all that stuff with him and going. Of course, back then you traded tapes. That stuff was. Yeah. I always remember those trips because we'd wake up, we'd go to McDonald's, whatever they had nearby where we met, trade tapes, and then Dad loved college football, so we was off to Western, Kentucky, Louisville. Every once in a while, we catch an Eastern game, but it's every Saturday he's watching college football somewhere. So after we trade those tapes, and we come home and he'd fire them up on the old VCR, and we'd sit there and watch these teams I didn't know nothing about, but I was just glued to the TV watching it all.
Learning how to break down film.
And then when I wasn't even playing, he'd be yelling at me, "You see that right there? You should have been making that tackle. See that right there? You should have hit that hole." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, yeah." But
so how was your dad in film room when you're the guy on the other end of that?
Well, it didn't really happen too much, but I mean, he let me have it. I mean, he called me out just as well as he did any other kid, and a lot of times even more. He'll pull my mask down just like he would anybody else. So he tried to teach or treat me the same way, and that's kind of the same way I try to coach is trying to get go.
Now, did Freddie always coach with your dad? Were they?
Not always. Fred started out in Greene County, then he went to Monroe County.
I didn't know that.
Where he was the head coach for a long time. They had a couple good runs in playoffs. We always enjoyed going and watching
at Monroe.
At Monroe, yeah.
Okay.
And then he come here, and he started coaching probably my 8th grade year, maybe before that. And then we had those a couple runs there with my group and my brother's group, where he was the OC, Dad was DC, and then finally he took over for Dad. Of course, he did.
I got a big question.
He did middle school a couple years there, but I mean, our whole family was football. On my sidelines, my mom's keeping stats. My sister was the ball girl. My brother's a water boy. My aunt and uncles was the trainers. My other uncle, he was the
So you didn't really have a
assistant
choice.
coach. And then my other aunt, she was the photographer. So everybody on my dad's side, they had a job to do on Friday night.
So it was a family affair.
And then right now, everybody but my mom, she's no longer stat keeper, and she wouldn't let my wife do it. So she comes to most of the games, sits in a little laid back chair. So she has a little bit more fun time watching my 2 little babies. And then my Freddie and my aunt, they come to all the home games, but they kind of more laid back, enjoying the fan experience.
So Freddie's still coming.
He comes, and then Dad, he's still on the sidelines. He's my get back coach. So I was asking my get back coach, and I point to him. And you still letting him on the sidelines?
Of course.
Last year he got two flags, but the year before that he had 3 or 4 still yelling at the refs and whatnot. So he still got some fire about it.
I've got to tell. We'll wait, because I've got a question associated with it. But I've got to tell you about the game that your dad coached against Greene County, and it was Will Wharf. So I don't know what season you would have been in. It may have been before.
I'd done been gone. Will and my brother were freshmen my senior year, so I'd have been gone.
Okay.
So they made their run. I didn't get to see much of their high school career because
I want to think they were both undefeated. They had the previous coach at Greene County.
Yeah, that's Mike Griss. Yeah.
Okay, so was that Will Wharf's era, or was it
He was there for both. He was there for my era and Will Wharf's. But yeah, they had.
I think both teams were undefeated.
Yeah,
and it was conference.
Yeah, Greene County blew them out in regular season, put the clock on them, and then in the playoffs we returned the favor on their field.
Okay.
And put the clock on them. Apparently, I think this is right, and I could be wrong, but I think Glasgow beat us bad in the regular season, and Greene County beat us bad in the regular season. That was our only 2 losses. And then we turned around the playoffs, beat Glasgow in the first round, put the clock on them, and then put the clock on Greene County.
Okay.
And then
I can't remember exactly which.
I think that's how it is.
But I've got to tell you about a game that I went to in Greene County.
Oh, I love it.
In that time with your dad, and your dad was a heck of a coach. Nobody would ever challenge that. And a good guy at the same time. So we've talked about growing up as a coach's son, and obviously it's got perks, but it's also got its own challenges.
Right.
So, do you think it is possible that some moms and dads up in the stand might think you're getting a certain position just because of who your daddy is?
Probably not with me. In my 9 years, I've only had one parent complaint. Face-to-face meeting, so knock on wood for that. But I feel like that's pretty good for any high school coach to only have one meeting, and it was because I was pushing his kid too hard to be the best. I was like, if that's what you're getting on me, I'll take that, because if I'm pushing him to be the best he can, I don't know what the problem is.
So the conversation ended on a positive?
Yeah, he was fine with it. He just told him that he thought I pushed him too hard his whole career, and that's why he didn't really like it his senior year. So that was the conversation. Wow. Yeah. So like, if that's what you're getting on me, I'm sorry I pushed him, but I thought he had more potential in him. So, and that's my only complaint. I mean, I'm sure there's something.
Wouldn't that be the definition of a coach?
To me, it was. So I was kind of confused when he was, wanting to have the conversation. But my door's always open. I ain't afraid to talk to parents. But that's been the only one in 9 years. So knock on wood. Hopefully we can keep that. But I mean. I just try to do everything, the right way, and I don't care if your mom and daddy own the bank in town or you come up from nothing, and that does not mean anything to me, and that's the way I'm going to be until hopefully I retire.
Your daddy was a coach, the coach. You played under your daddy and your uncle, and your mom's keeping stats. Your sister's doing. Your whole family is running Metcale football, right?
Yep.
So here's LJ out there playing. At what point did something click in you and say, or did it at this point, little league, middle school, high school, at any point did you say, I think I want to be a coach someday?
Oh, no, never. And if it hadn't been for my roommate in college, I would have never been a coach.
You have got to be kidding me.
No.
Let's hear it. So tell me about college. If we're going to talk about college, how did you arrive at college? What caused you to go to college? Which college did you go to?
Well, if we want to do that, we got to back way back up to my junior year.
Okay.
Preseason, the year we went 12-0, I broke my leg in the preseason game. So I mean, everybody was thinking, we were going to the state, and I mean, we possibly could. Time will never know. I mean, the guy stepped in at running back linebacker for me, did a really phenomenal job. He rushed for 1,700 yards.
Now, who is this?
His name was Ryan England. So
yeah.
He was a sophomore underneath me.
Any kin to Tommy?
Tommy England, yep. This is a boy.
Well, Tommy.
Smaller.
Yes. I've worked with Tommy quite a bit because I work at the electric company. I've dealt with him several years because he's an electrician, a heck of an electrician.
So when I broke my leg, he kind of got the teams down in the dump. But those seniors, there was, I think, 12 of them. They did a good job of responding. They had a heck of a year. And like I said, I come back, played the last 2 games with the leg cast on just because I missed it so much and whatnot. But when the senior year come around, my senior year, you're getting all these calls from, UK, Tennessee, Vandy, and, every team around here, the big names. And then I break my leg first play of my senior year against Taylor County on their field.
So preseason, junior year.
Yeah.
And first game of the season?
Yep.
Senior year.
Kick went out of bounds. They didn't kick to me in the back. And then I took a pitch to the right, and my cleat stuck, and there it went. Dislocated my ankle, broke my the little bone in my leg. So that went there, and I was mad. Of course, everybody was crying. I threw my helmet probably 20, 30 yards across the field because I knew it happened as soon as it did, and I just took it off, just slung it laying on the ground. Try to get up like an idiot and tough guy, but there it was, thinking, they're with my career, college coaches calling, how's the season going? Well, funny thing, of course, there wasn't no Twitter or huddle to watch what was going on.
Right.
Phone calls was what kept me in touch. And after I told them I broke my leg for second year in a row, I basically didn't hear from anybody ever again. And ended up going.
Was it different spot of your leg each time? Or?
Yeah, broke my right leg my junior year, broke my left ankle my senior year.
Yeah.
So everybody's worried about my right leg, but heck, it had a big old calcium deposit on it. Still to this day, it does.
Probably stronger than it was.
Oh yeah, all I did was drink milk and eat Tums to build up that calcium. Yeah, but that happened. So Mom wanted me to go to college, and I wanted to just give up football and go be a pipeliner with my grandma and grandpa.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you enjoyed the discussion and gained some valuable insights. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and leave us a rating and review. We'll be back for part 2 of a 3-part series with LJ Harbison, so stay tuned. You're listening to First Down and Life.